Daily Words of God. It has always been my duty to manage man. Furthermore, the conquest of man is what I ordained when I created the world. People may not know that I shall completely conquer man in the last days, or that the conquest of the rebellious ones among mankind is the evidence of my defeat of Satan. But when my enemy joined battle with me, I already told it that I would conquer those that Satan had taken captive and made into its children, into the loyal servants that watched over its home. The original meaning of conquer is to defeat, to subject to humiliation. In the language of the Israelites, it means to utterly defeat, destroy, and render incapable of further resistance against me. But today, when used among you, its meaning is to conquer. You should know that my intention has always been to completely extinguish and put to rout the evil one of mankind, so that it can no longer rebel against me, much less have the breath to interrupt or disturb my work. Thus, as far as man is concerned, this word has come to mean conquest. Whatever the connotations of the term, my work is to defeat mankind. For while it is true that mankind is an adjunct to my management, to put it more precisely, mankind is none other than my enemy. Mankind is the evil one that opposes and disobeys me. Mankind is none other than the progeny of the evil one accursed by me. Mankind is none other than the descendant of the archangel that betrayed me. Mankind is none other than the legacy of the devil who, spurned by me long ago, has been my irreconcilable enemy ever since. For the sky above all mankind is turbid and dark, without the slightest impression of clarity, and the human world is plunged into pitchy darkness, so that one living in it cannot even see his outstretched hand before his face, or the sun when he lifts up his head. The road beneath his feet, muddy and rife with potholes, meanders tortuously. The whole land is littered with corpses. The dark corners are filled with the remains of the dead, and in the cool and shady corners, crowds of demons have taken up residence. And everywhere in the world of men, demons come and go in hordes. The progeny of all manner of beasts, covered in filth, are locked in pitched battle, the sound of which strikes terror to the heart. At such times, in such a world, such an earthly paradise, where does one go to seek out life's felicities? Where could one go to find his life's destination? Mankind, long since trampled under Satan's feet, has from the first been an actor taking on Satan's image. More than that, mankind is the embodiment of Satan, and serves as the evidence that bears witness to Satan, loud and clear. How can such a human race, such a bunch of degenerate scum, such offspring of this corrupt human family, bear witness to God? Whence comes my glory? Where can one begin to speak of my testimony? For the enemy that, having corrupted mankind, stands against me, has already taken mankind. The mankind that I created long ago, and that was filled with my glory and my living out, and soiled them. It has snatched away my glory, and all it has imbued man with is poison heavily laced with the ugliness of Satan, and juice from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. In the beginning, I created mankind. That is, I created mankind's ancestor Adam. He was endowed with form and image, brimming with vigor, brimming with vitality, and was, furthermore, in the company of my glory. That was the glorious day when I created man. After that, Eve was produced from the body of Adam, and she too was the ancestor of man. And so the people that I created were filled with my breath and brimming with my glory. Adam was originally born from my hand, and was the representation of my image. Thus, the original meaning of Adam was a being created by me, imbued with my vital energy, imbued with my glory, having form and image, having spirit and breath. He was the only created being possessed of a spirit who was capable of representing me, of bearing my image, and receiving my breath. In the beginning, Eve was the second human endowed with breath whose creation I had ordained. So the original meaning of Eve was a created being who would continue my glory, filled with my vitality, and furthermore endowed with my glory. Eve came from Adam, so she also bore my image, for she was the second human to be created in my image. The original meaning of Eve was a living human with spirit, flesh, and bone, my second testimony, as well as my second image among mankind. They were mankind's ancestors, man's pure and precious treasure, and from the first, living beings endowed with spirit. However, the evil one trampled and took captive the progeny of mankind's ancestors, plunging the human world into complete darkness, and making it so that the progeny no longer believe in my existence. Even more abominable is that even as the evil one corrupts people and tramples all over them, it is cruelly wresting away my glory, my testimony, the vitality I bestowed on them, the breath and the life I blew into them, all my glory in the human world, and all the heart's blood I have expended on mankind. Mankind is no longer in the light. People have lost everything I bestowed upon them, and they have cast away the glory I gave. How can they acknowledge that I am the Lord of all created beings? How can they continue to believe in my existence in heaven? How can they discover the manifestations of my glory upon the earth? How can these grandsons and granddaughters take the God their own ancestors revered as the Lord who created them? These pitiful grandsons and granddaughters have generously presented to the evil one the glory, the image, and the testimony that I bestowed upon Adam and Eve, as well as the life I bestowed upon mankind, and on which they depend to exist. And they are utterly unmindful of the evil one's presence, and give all my glory to it. Is this not the very source of the term scum? How can such a mankind, such evil demons, such walking corpses, such figures of Satan, such enemies of mine be possessed of my glory? I will repossess my glory, repossess my testimony that exists among men, and all that once belonged to me, and that I gave to mankind long ago. I will completely conquer mankind. However, you should know that the humans I created were holy men who bore my image and my glory. They did not belong to Satan, nor were they subject to its trampling, but were purely a manifestation of mine, free of the slightest trace of Satan's poison. And so I inform humanity that I want only that which is created by my hand, the holy ones that I love and that belong to no other entity. Furthermore, I will take pleasure in them and consider them as my glory. However, what I want is not the mankind that has been corrupted by Satan, that belongs to Satan today, and that is no longer my original creation. Because I intend to repossess my glory that exists in the human world, I shall completely conquer the survivors among mankind as proof of my glory in defeating Satan. I take only my testimony as a crystallization of myself, as the object of my enjoyment. This is my will.